Alright guys, we're going to look at the ubiquitin mediated protein degradation, or you can say the polyubiquitin chain in protein degradation. So let's get it started. But we're going to talk about protein turnover before we set into the system.
Right. So this protein turnover is when damaged proteins or old proteins are replaced by new ones. And this is done by the method of protein synthesis or translation. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that. So let's continue with the protein turnover. So this protein turnover or this protein breakdown occurs in two cellular locations. That's the lysosomal protease digest, and we have the large cytoplasmic complexes. That is the ubiquitin system. So when we talk about lysosomal protease, it's an enzyme that cuts or cleaves proteins, that is place proteins. Yeah, but we're not going to concentrate on that. This video is based on the ubiquitin reaction in protein turnover. So let's move on to ubiquitin mediated protein breakdown or protein degradation. A healthy protein is oxidized by oxygen and denatured by heat or by mutation, which makes it subjected to breakdown by the ubiquitin system. Initially, E3 ubiquitin ligase and E2 ubiquitin conjugating enzyme binds to the substrate. In parallel, E1 ubiquitin activating enzyme binds to ubiquitin, and it is then bind to E2 enzyme. The E2 in turn conjugates it covalently to the damaged or denatured substrate. This process continues, and a second ubiquitin is bound to the first ubiquitin, and the third ubiquitin is bound to the second ubiquitin, fourth ubiquitin bound to the third ubiquitin, fifth ubiquitin bind to the fourth ubiquitin, sixth ubiquitin bind to the fifth ubiquitin, and so on and so forth. This process builds a proteasome recognition signal. The chain is bound to a complex 26S proteasome. The substrate is then misfolded, whilst ubiquitin is recycled back to bind to E1 for another cycle until all degraded proteins are released.